Matt Lenihan Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and R Kings. We're here in Las Vegas with Sandy Ryan. Sandy, we haven't caught up in a hell of a long time. I've not seen much of you on the media side of things since your last fight. I know you're deep in training camp now. Your fight's been announced. Just talk to us. Are you sort of relieved that it's over the line and you can run back that fight? Because it was a great one, the first one.
Yeah, you know what? I'm so happy because I don't think any other fight would have got me up, like got me going, as this fight. Straight away, I was like, I wanted the rematch, and yeah, I left it to my team, and I prayed for it, and yeah, I was so happy that it got over the line.
We'll talk about the first one and the things that surrounded the first one in a minute, but was there a concern after the first one that you thought, you know, what if I don't get the rematch? Where's the pivot? Now, look, at the end of the day, you'd be still a former world champion. You would have plenty of options because of the talent pool and, you know, you'd always get a big fight. But because of what happened around the first one, was there a bit of a concern that, you know, how do I sort of navigate into another fight? Because the emotions would be different, the motivation would be different. Was that a concern at all?
It was for me, and that's why I didn't want any other fight other than the rematch. And yeah, I just couldn't see myself fighting in a different fight. Like, I just wanted the rematch so bad. With how it planned out, how it went, and I just believe that I can just right the wrong. So I didn't want anything else other than this rematch.
I think the good thing about boxing at the minute is losses don't define anyone's career. It's the manner in which you lose and the performance and the body of work that you put into a career. And, you know, I remember early on in your career when you took a defeat to Farias, you went back, you took stock of yourself, you came back and you did a great job. This one, I think, is on a completely different level. I think you're a much better fighter than you were back then. And Mikaela's obviously been at that level as well. How sort of excited are you and motivated are you for this one in particular, with everything that went on the first time? Like I said, we'll touch on it in more in depth in a minute, but how much does this one mean to you to make sure that you can go in there and give the best version of yourself?
It means everything, you know. There's a whole purpose around this fight, and I'm just putting everything I have to give everyone the best me on March 29th. But like you touched on early on in my career when I took it out, when I came back, I never take a second loss about me in life as well. So, yeah.
The first fight, so the narrative going into it, I remember interviewing Mikaela, I think it was over Zoom, and there was the big narrative around it in the training teams and who's working with who, and you're coming over here into territory, and I thought it was sort of building nicely, and I know it's not really relevant for you guys, you just go in there and you want to do the fight, but that was the narrative that was built. We then get to fight week, there's a back and forth, I think, in one of the face-offs. It's building up into this big fight. And then talk me through the moments. You're ready to go to the arena. Your emotions naturally are probably in that zone of, look, I'm getting locked in now. I'm gearing myself up to fight. And then there's an incident. You get a bucket of paint thrown all over you before getting into the car. You have to come back, get changed. Just sort of talk me through that timeline of events and what that did to you before the fight.
Yeah, it was like 3 hours before the fight took place. Obviously, you have your set time, you're leaving the hotel, meeting the team down in reception, and as we're walking out, obviously the paint, I don't know what it was at the time, but something hit me, and then I'm looking down and all I see is red. I'm just like, what the hell? I look up, I just see a guy running with the hood up, running into the car. And I was kind of shocked, and then I was just like, what the fuck, basically. And then I was like, someone's attacked me there. So I started to get angry, and my adrenaline's going 3 hours before a fight. And I had to go change and whatever, and go back to the venue, try and calm down, And yeah, I just fought. I fought on emotion, and I fought with anger, and the people that know me know that that's what I was doing in there, fighting on anger and emotion. But yeah, I can't. That's the past. No one can change that. I don't really look at that now, to be honest. You know, even though I know a lot of people are talking about it, I don't look back on that anymore, because what matters is what is right now, and what I'm doing right now today, and for the rematch.
Definitely, and that's the mindset you've got to have going into this rematch. At one point, did you consider not fighting that night? Because I don't think you'd have been forgiven. And the way I looked at it was this: I know people say, "Oh, it's pain," and whatever they want to say, but you see such stories, and horror stories, of things being thrown on people, and for all you know, it could have been anything at the start. You don't know if it's acid, you don't know what the hell's going on. I don't think you'd have been. I'm trying to think of the right word. I don't think people would have been like up in arms if you just said, "No, I'm not doing this. This is ridiculous." Did it cross your mind to say, "Look, do I leave this for another day?" And does that also play into the fact of, God, I've given so much to camp. I've trained so hard. I've spent so much time away from family. It leaves you in a bit of a situation.
Exactly. It didn't cross my mind once that I was going to pull out the fight. Because as soon as that happened, I wanted to fight there and then. I was that angry. I wanted to fight there and then, and but yeah, it was just a crazy moment. Like I felt like I was in a movie going to the venue. I had a security guard in the truck with me. He was on the phone saying, "We're pulling up in 3 minutes with Sandy Ryan, want all security at the door." Then he got off the phone. He went, "Sandy, when I get out of the car, don't move. When I open the door, I want you to stay on my left shoulder." I felt like I was in the army or some kind of movie, or do you know what I mean? And that was a few hours before my fight, defending a world title. So, but there was never a time what crossed my mind where I was like, I'm going to pull out this fight. No.
The performance was what it was, and like you say, even though you were fighting on emotion, it was still a good fight. It was still a close fight, and I believe when you look at the flip side, I can't remember the figures, but I'm pretty sure it was one of the most watched fights. You'll probably have seen it, I'm pretty sure, and known it, but the amount of eyeballs on that, when you look at what happened with a Taylor Serrano, and for you two both to do that and come together and get so many eyeballs on that event, you must be, I suppose, I know you're a competitor, but you go, you know, I'm quite proud of that.
Yeah, like, it was a massive fight, and it was a close fight, and the numbers that we did, like, yeah, we both have to be proud of that. And I feel like that's also, it's helped as well to make the rematch, and because people want to see that, so.
Mikaela herself, no love lost, I suppose, after the first one. Is it personal for you? Is it just business? What is it?
Yeah, a bit of both this time round.
Yeah. Do you think after sharing this next fight, obviously no one can predict a result, and I know you wholeheartedly believe you'll do a job on her. I'm sure she thinks the same. Do you think at the end of it there'll be solidarity kind of thing, or has this gone way too far? I can see in your eyes, I think I know the answer, but I've got to ask.
Oh no, she no respect from me, that girl. Yeah.
No.
Just business.
It says God's plan on your hoodie. You truly believe that?
Yeah, I believe that. Definitely. This is God's plan this time.
In terms of the fight itself, you talk about fighting on raw emotion. What do you have to do differently? Is it, get my words out, differently? Is it be more disciplined, take more in? Obviously, you know, God willing, touch wood, you know, we don't see incidents like we saw before. Is it about you just staying in control of your emotions this time and taking advice from the corner and going about it in the way they try and guide you in terms of a game plan to make sure that it gets you over the line this time?
Yeah, I'll do everything that I didn't do last time right, and yeah, I'm not going to be fighting on emotion and anger like I was last time, so it will be a completely different fight. Obviously there's still going to be that aggression there that's in me. That's in me. We just have to rein it in a little till we need to let it out. Yeah.
Do you know what? Whenever I talk to you, there's that side to you, I think, where people see the fighter Sandy Ryan, and obviously we get to see the person on camera. But when you talk about fighting and aggression, there's a certain smile that comes to your face. Like you do live for that, don't you? Them moments where you can sort of be let off the leash a little bit and really sort of have a tear up. Where does that come from? Like, I know you're a skilled boxer, and it's an art form, but you love a tear up. You love to say, you know what, let's just go. Where does it come from? Is it in the genes? What is it?
I don't know. It must be. It just must be. I think it's changed as life's gone on. Like you go through certain things in life, it makes you change. It makes you have a purpose. Makes you do things differently, and it just certain things has put that fight in me. So yeah, it's just in me, and I just. But to let it out at the right times.
Yeah. To channel it. You've achieved a lot in boxing. You know, world champion. You're in the history books. There's still a lot of fights for you to have. I know you probably don't allow yourself to look past maybe even tomorrow's training camp because you're quite dialed in. But what's left for you to achieve in boxing? What do you want to look at in, say, the next 5 to 10 years' time when maybe, you know, you're not fighting anymore and you go, you know what, that's what I achieved. What do you want to say that you've achieved?
That I was world champion, undisputed. There's still time. There's still fights there to be made. But yeah, in big fights as well. Big fights like we are doing.
I saw Top Rank and the poster that got announced, paint all over it. Were you surprised at that, or did you look and think, cheeky bastards kind of thing? What was your reaction to that?
I kind of just laughed, and it's funny because my brother texted me and he was like, it's funny that what they did on the poster, ain't it? Like he wasn't even bothered either. So it's just not, yeah, it didn't bother me.
I know you can't say a right lot because, you know, look, at the end of the day, it was a serious thing that happened, but I assume things still sort of moving on in the background to getting to the bottom of what actually happened that day, so the person that obviously did what they did can sort of get punished for what they did. Is this thing still happening in the background?
I believe there is, and I just left that to my team because since the rematch has been done, honest to God, I don't care about it. I don't care about what happened in the last fight, what happened in the past, because we're here now, and I'm going to make the change.
Well, look, you've got a lot of fans out there, a lot of people who supported it. The numbers prove that as well. You got a message to your fans, the ones who backed you. I know you've got family at home as well, and you're spending time away from them. You got a message to these people, and we'll sign this off. Yeah,
I appreciate all the love and support. Even more so, you know, when you take it out and still got people rooting for you, that means a lot, and it just pushes you a little bit more. And yeah, I'm away from home. It's a long camp this time, but it will be worth it, and enjoy some downtime after. And the new.
Sandy Ryan, always a pleasure catching up with you. I'm really looking forward to your fight. Fingers crossed, before I kick my camera over, that we will be there in the coming months. And yeah, looking forward to it. Appreciate your time.
No, thank you so much.